Mm.
I'm laughing at Catherine going.
Man, no, like holds breath.
Okay. Here we are once again. Another week, another Potomac episode.
You sound so excited.
I am excited. I am excited despite, how it may seem, because here we are. We're gonna toast to Karen and her triple 20. I know the girls did not do her well enough, so we're gonna,
Dirty. They're dirty.
yes.
Karen,
Cheers to
our
Karen's
season queen.
birthday.
You are now watching Mind You Media.
Mind you!
We can't use that. We don't have the rights. You are now streaming Mind You Media.
So far, she mine.
Okay.
I'm not gonna personally invest in any queen because I'm literally sitting on pins and needles waiting for someone to disappoint me. And Karen actually already did that this episode.
Yeah.
So
That's actually very true. It's just a matter of time.
Mhm.
All right. Well, it's Kristen's turn once again to give us the recap. The
I really
1
feel
minute
good
recap.
about this one. I feel good about this one, Catherine. You're not gonna take my glory from
And
me.
I just want us all to succeed. And here's just another opportunity for that.
All right. Well, let's go. I'm ready. I'm ready
I'm
to
gonna count you.
reclaim my time from the last time you stole it from me.
Yes, reclaim it on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, this episode, Don't Rock the Boat, we pick up where we left off with Robin crying in the back of the car, upset at Candace for having charged her with being partially responsible for Juan losing his job. Then they're on their way to the chicken shit bingo, the dumbass activity that Ashley cooked up for this dumbass trip, and much more crying takes place between and among Candace and Robin. Robin is continuing to be distraught. Candace feels sad that Robin is sad, but is also like distrustful of her, and that comes out. They play this bingo game where chickens are taking dumps on numbers to win money. Somehow they have a good time. Mia, Giselle, and Robin end up leaving. Boom. They go to the hotel. NECA continues to be a despicable ass woman who doesn't love herself. Karen and Giselle have a conversation in the room about
Minutes passed.
I
Life comes at you fast,
I
okay?
got halfway through the episode though. That was better than last time.
That was improvements. Keep it going. Then what happens?
Okay, and then so Karen and Giselle have a conversation in Karen's room when Giselle is notably the first person to come wish her a happy birthday on the actual day of her birthday. But Giselle lets Karen know, look, girl, I know you want to be the like peace agent here, but there is no way forward with me and Candace because Candace charging me with being a colorist and I'm getting death threats and my children aren't safe. Okay, we'll have to interrogate that. NECA swings her aspiring bone straight hair in the transition. Mia and Gordon have a conversation about the attorney that they've retained. Is it about suing? Is it about divorce? We don't know. The women go to kayak, another Ashley's dumbass activities. And during the kayaking, they have some fun, it seems. And then on the car ride back, Karen lets us know that she is starting a new B&B on the property of her family in Surrey, Virginia. And then Robin and Juan in the episode with Robin updating Juan on what the women are saying, and he can't abide her emotions. So it's not looking good for Robin.
never ever.
She just don't ever look good, apparently, this season. So,
I don't care, Robin.
why are you so emotional? Stop being emotional. That's what happens.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And next
Very
time,
systematic.
I think you really will get it in a minute.
It's
right.
all about practice and iterating. You know, I might not be the same as I was, but I'm always getting better, you know?
Yes.
Sure.
Yes. All right. Well, let's start at the beginning with Robin crying in the car.
Mm.
Ooh, me, teacher.
Yes. All right. Okay. Get in there.
It's what I have in my notes is like one of the early comments Robin makes in between sobs is like, talk about the women all you want, but don't talk about his fucking job. I said, oh, if that was not a telling ass declaration. Talk about the women all you want, but don't talk about his and now B word why? Who is the arbiter of what is appropriate to talk about? Like you think Juan's cheating is more serious to the people than the sexual abuse of a child under Juan's care and management? No, we don't care. Like you already told us that's how you two carry on. Juan be sleeping around on you, like you do or don't care because you do or don't have feelings involved. But Juan literally enabled one of his employees to sexually assault one of the young men he is responsible for, and that broke the news, and you want us to not care about that? Like it's just it's giving protect sexual abusers. That's what it's giving. Like
Yes.
what are you fucking saying? Why would we not care about that?
Mm-hmm.
But
That's the
also,
most important thing.
but also that line is a like mystification of what Candace was doing. She was telling you, girl, you shouldn't be talking about his job if it's an active lawsuit. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
Candace is saying, Robin,
Sure.
if it were me, I wouldn't be talking about an active lawsuit or
Mm.
investigation. You're the one
That's
who
so true.
Yeah, so she's being a hypocrite, first of all, because she's telling them not to talk about, but she spoke about it and it was a legal matter. Yeah, but I think it's like, first of all, no fucking way, bitch. Like we are going to talk about whatever is sensational. Like, do you know who your boss is? It's Andy fucking Cohen. Write his checks on your
Oh.
exploitation ass. Like you signed up for that. You know what I mean? The best we can do is try and like, mount some sort of resistance to Andy's capitalizing off of y'all's pain and suffering by making them meaningful topics of discussion, right? By like getting something edifying or instructive out of it. And now you're going to say, don't talk about it? No, and as if it was not hard enough, because of course, like this is not a way of saying, and poor men, right? Because we know that predominantly the victims of sexual assault are women who are not believed.
Right.
But because this doesn't serve men, but certainly because the discourse is dominated by instances of women who are not credible, who have been victims of sexual assault, men are very unlikely to come forward with it, right? Like this is such a humiliating fucking story for that child. You've
Mm-hmm.
never said a single word of sympathy towards the child.
That is the most sick part of this whole thing, that she and Juan continue to say, I don't care. It's not a big da, 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 da. And meanwhile, there's a real victim out there, okay, who was totally humiliated, violated, and he's under Juan's care.
And the reason why we're supposed to be hands off this topic, it's because it concerns his job. Juan's fucking salary is not more important than the well-being of the child. Don't nobody care. First of all, what happened Juan didn't always have this job, okay? What happened before? Juan had a job that he also lost. What happened before? Juan had a job that he also lost, okay? The pattern is that Juan cycles in and out of jobs. We are not preserving the sanctity of Juan's work in order to
especially when he
shit on the
doesn't do it
kid.
well.
Right.
Like and that part you're happy to admit, I guess I didn't win enough games. Well, that's what they pay you for. So, but that's not why they fired you.
Right.
Yeah. And like Robin is such a little flip-floppery, funny acting, like talk out of two sides of your neck ass woman, because it's like also you're saying like all y'all's husband talk shit about me, and the production is in cahoots with you about trying to get that
Idiots.
narrative off the ground. It can't even sustain when you cut to Chris talking about you allegedly. He's saying the most like
Chris
diplomatic,
literally
kind, considerate thing to say after he just got maligned as a potentially like sexual abuser. Well, I could understand if that was going on in her life, how she might want
why
to.
she wouldn't want to talk about it.
Yes.
It makes me wonder: was she deflecting? Was I like, collateral damage in her deflecting.
And
That's
this
not,
and because what she called it was like, what did she say? Talk shit nonstop. That's what she described that as. Husbands talking shit nonstop. Like, you're fucking sick. What do you expect out of the people who are like a party to the housewives, TV stint? Like, they'll be dragged into the drama. It's fair game to say they're sliding in your DMs, they're coercing you into rooms, they're making you feel uncomfortable with their behavior, but they are not allowed to have a hearing. They're not allowed to say, they don't have the platform. They're not allowed to sit up and be filmed in every scene. They're not allowed to go to the bloggers and say, can I tell my side? You can drag them up it, but they can't have a voice. Get the fuck out of here. That's sick.
it's just what's convenient for her. Like, frankly, it's like,
course.
Robin,
Well-
you're crying. You're crying is vexed. You don't know what you're crying about. You're crying because Juan is mean to you, and you don't know why you trapped yourself again in that relationship. You're crying because it's being exposed, and your defenses won't work here. Like, what are you crying about for real?
She is literally Juan's parrot. And that's what's like so gross about this whole thing is this is like the underbelly, the dark side of like that girls guy type of personality is that she will go to bat for him. She's not relating to any of the women in this scenario. When they've all, been through trials and tribulations together on the show, the only thing she can think about is like, well, what would Juan say?
Yeah. And I, the reason why she's actually crying is because it's the question of what is Juan going to say is playing in her mind, right? I said this last episode, and then it materialized along these lines. Did y'all see that? Like,
Yes.
she's like, you don't talk about his job. Like, that she says that is like, please, you're gonna get me in trouble. And then when she gets on the phone with Juan, okay, first order of business, we're going to talk about this later, of course, but first order of business, the healthcare, I'm handling it so you can make sure you get health insurance. And then it's like, and Juan, bitch, I don't want to know about it. She knew that was coming. That's why she's crying.
Yes.
She said, no,
Yes.
please don't say that I'm accountable, which, by the way, she's not. It might have been unwise to talk about it, but Robin, as much as I can't stand your silly ass, ain't none of this your fault. For going on the show, that was the paycheck the family fucking needed. Juan was able to get a coaching job because you went on that show. It's Juan's reckless cheating that didn't help his case with the basketball stuff. Okay.
Yep.
He was already making headlines and they said, this is a messy motherfucker where we cannot endorse him. He gotta go. Not to mention the egregiousness on its own of the behavior. Whatever, he didn't have to send the the catfishing, whatever it's called, of the child, the sexual exploitation. He knew about it and he enabled it. He didn't report it. That's enabling. Like, that alone is egregious.
He's a mandated reporter. Like, that's the part of his job.
Whether it's the law or not, it's the right fucking thing to do to intervene here, right? Like, and Robin is afraid that Juan is going to watch this back and go, oh yeah, it was your fault I lost my job. Because we see he blames her for everything. He can do nothing but curse her out. Like, if we can suspend all of our understandings of Robin, that is just sad.
Yeah,
that is sad.
Yes.
It's sad that she starts crying instantly because she's like, I believe she feels guilty. Did I do this?
Yep.
Like that's a Stockholm syndrome victim if ever I've seen it, right?
Yeah.
Like,
A literal
it's not
handmaid.
your fault. That, and then B, whether or not you actually feel guilty, he's going to make it your fault.
Yes. Yes. And the other women know too. Karen said as much. Karen was like, she feels bad because it was implied that, and she said that go on, Kristen.
Well, I just had a question. You want to finish? Or my question is just like, I wonder the extent to which Robin, because the thing you were saying, Catherine, about like, this is the pitfalls of being a guy's girl or whatever, Robin's little prototype of being like, I'm one of the boys. I wonder if she knows, like, she's, metaphorically in bed so deep with with Juan on Juan's team that like she can't get like sympathy or empathy from friends. Even though Candace is having it on offer by crying and comment with her, it's like, I wonder if she like is talking herself out of even asking for like support and identification or something because like it looks bad and you know it, girl. Like you've been on team Juan to such an extent of him disrespecting you, to such an extent of, you know, rebuffing your friends trying to intervene, that now it's like you're breaking down. And I wonder if you can't even convince yourself to like reach out for a hand, because it must look bad to you too that you've chosen the team of this man who continues to like abuse you in a way, you know?
You know, I don't even know, Kristen. I just feel like she does expect sympathetic ears. She expects them, but she doesn't trust them, right? Like, and I think there actually is a moment. I think she does know why Candace is crying. I think she knows Candace is crying because she feels bad for her. But with Giselle in her ear, with Mia in her ear, and because Candace is like, okay, but I'm not backing down from the position I have.
Yeah.
I am expressing empathy towards you, but that doesn't mean I think I've done anything to aggrieve you. I can both be upset with you for what you did and also sympathize for the position you're in because I care about you. And for Robin, it's like, no, that's not how relationships work. Relationships work like blind loyalty. That's what's rational. And it's like she's so wildly out of touch with her own emotional landscape that she can't think these two things together. Because when she's like, when they're leaving the car before entering into chicken shit bingo, like she can see Candace is crying on her behalf. And I feel like she's trying to like do the smallest, measliest, most cowardly gesture by saying, well, if you want to hold on to that, because she hoped Candace might go, I don't want to hold on to it, but Candace is mad at this point. And she said, no, you said we're not friends, so fuck it, fuck you. And it's like, if you want to hold on to this thing that I did that hurt you, that was her very piss poor way of taking accountability. Okay, I might have done something to you, but why are you holding on to it? Because you never accounted for it, because you still to this day disavow it every time I invoke it, and you turn the story around so that somehow now you're the victim of something I've done to you rather than the victim of something your husband is doing to you.
Yep.
I think Robin does know people. She knows what sensitivity to her looks like. It doesn't look like what Giselle's doing.
I don't know if she knows. I think that, to your point about rationality, I think when Candace is crying, when people seem emotional to her, she doesn't trust that. I don't think she knows how to take that at face value.
Yeah,
I think
if
that
she can't own it in herself, she won't be able to face it. And shout out to James Baldwin.
And
He's saying that about white people, by the way. It's like, if you won't face it in yourself, you certainly can't empathize with it in my circumstance. That's a paraphrase, but
right.
But
I think that
go ahead.
Oh, go on. Well, I think that what to Robin, what you know, real empathy, real friendship looks like is what Giselle did at the bingo. When they get to chicken chip bingo and Robin or Giselle goes to Candace and says, you are not acting like a friend. She's not acting like a friend. She's acting like an enemy. And she's like on the attack. I think Robin recognizes that as like, okay, I feel defended. I feel seen.
I think I disagree. I think later in the episode,
too.
Robin was equivocating the next day when they're driving. I mean, I don't mean to step on the further conversation, but like when they're driving to kayak, and like Giselle is like, I told Nneka to get in the other car so you can be with us. And Robin says like, oh, you know, well, like, I mean, I'm not in a place where I'm just like, oh, I can never be around Candace. Like,
happening.
and I'm just like, I hear, and Robin saying that first, I hear her like mitigating the intensity of the feelings that she was having, but she doesn't identify with them. And I also hear her like not wanting to like block Candace out totally. If Giselle is saying like, fuck her, fuck her, I hear Robin saying like, no, I'm not in a place where I'm just like, oh, I can't be around her ever again. It's like, no, because you recognize you desire the version of being a good friend that Candace has on offer, but you trapped yourself with the enemy over here in Giselle and Juan. Like,
and here are some direct responses to Giselle's attempt to soothe Robin. She doesn't care about soothing her. Robin is sitting there sobbing at the table, and Giselle's like, talking to Mia about
Yeah.
Robin with Mia in the middle. She
Yeah.
crying? Girl,
Yeah.
look at her. She's crying.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she crying? Candace, you bitch. And like, Robin, because if she felt comforted, protected, defended as a friend, she wouldn't have got up and left. She said, I need
Nope.
to be by myself.
Oh, that's true. And
Oh,
then when she went outside, Giselle follows after Mia follows, and you
Yeah.
hear Giselle go, "Why is she sitting on the curb?"
But even she rebuffs Mia, who is being way more tender, right?
Mhm.
She rebuffs Mia. I just want to be by myself because that's her safe place, right? Alone to herself, unbothered
Yep.
by everyone around. And then what you see, she doesn't actually realize Giselle is outside. It seems to me until Mia's like, she's on the move. And then Giselle is like
Yeah.
hobbling, you know.
Finally,
That was a mistake with
I
those
always remember her
shoes.
saying Karen's Geritol kicked in. Boo.
look at you. You stiff as a mug. Oh my God.
Anyway, but then when she's hobbling over, Robin turns around and Robin is like, "Mm, mm, mm." Because Robin knows Giselle doesn't want me to cry. First of all, we
Yeah.
kind of get it though, right? Because Giselle gave you both a dose of soft love and tough love first episode, and you rebuffed it. Now Giselle has said, well, fine. I'm not going to invest feelings in you. I'm just gonna play the role of guard dog. That's it.
Right.
That means no sensitivity to you, just viciousness and vitriol for everybody else. So Robin knows like Giselle can't countenance my crying. She will not abide that. So she plasters on a fake smile, like, hey, you're out here. I'm fine. Everything's good. That's why she couldn't stay there. She said, this woman can't hold my feelings. I need to get up and leave.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, you've convinced me on that.
Yeah. I think we called it out last episode too. It's like she cannot serve two masters, and I think she knows the limits of the masters she's chosen, and she isn't brave enough to break ranks with that long-standing friendship, and that's part of also why she's crying. It's like, Candace, I love you, girl, but it would take too much. It would take too much, more than I can stand to like go be with you.
And
okay, well, just quickly, we also said that is Giselle dividing the group, not Robin, like Karen said last episode before. You know, it's like even when Robin is like breaking down, she's still like, to Kristen's point about that scene, like, oh well, I could have gone with NECA and them, you know.
I mean, I'm glad you pointed that out because I couldn't really tell what she was talking about when she said I can be around them or something. I was like, then why aren't you? But okay, last time in the suite when they had, sweet breakfast, Wendy pointed out, but we didn't see no conversation with you and your closest homegirl about this because she doesn't trust her. When something bad happens to her, she does not go to her so-called closest homegirl and talk about the matter on camera. She doesn't even talk about it with her husband, and that's the one she's closest with, presumably. Right?
Like, he told us. Wasn't it Giselle who last season when she was like, Juan's name ain't even on the house or something like that?
Yes. And she said she didn't even tell her mom this stuff. So really it's like Robin, like she's not telling anyone.
Yeah. And I think she does actually see that, like, she probably doesn't tell her mom because that's how Robin got to be this way. Her mom is probably not someone who can hold her feelings. So, and her mom is probably somebody who's a lot like Giselle, hence her attraction, like to another figure, which is like that figure, I don't know, symbolizes something I want, like we're all like recreating our relationships with our parents out in the world, in romantic relationships and friendships too. So it's like she clearly has some draw to this figure that's like her mom, which I'm guessing is Giselle, but she's just reminding herself over and over again, a figure like my mom can't hold my feelings, and I suffer that.
I also just want to. Oh, go.
No, you go.
I was gonna move ahead, so I was just gonna say. Oh.
The second thing I was gonna say was how it just was when Candace was like, or just my sense of what Candace is saying is like, yeah, you did have that one lunch with me and Chris where you said, I don't know why Giselle is saying this, but it sounds like for Candace, her bar for her friends are higher than what Robin is willing to meet. And I think that's that's what you're naming, Kristen, that Robin is afraid of. She's afraid to step into like having to relate intimately, having to be accountable, having to like meet the expectations of people who care about you, have reciprocal relations. She does not currently enjoy that with her husband. So she does not enjoy that with Giselle. So she's probably terrified of it. Like she's not good enough. And frankly, isn't that the like I'm not able? Isn't that the fundamental fear of the
Yeah.
five, the
Yeah.
investigator?
She's not capable.
Yeah. And I think she doesn't think she's capable of meeting those expectations.
She's afraid of the world, so she just creates her own.
And would rather, I mean, maybe not rather is the right word, but like will continue to suffer the lack of the things that fulfill her rather than take the risk on trying to like go pursue that closeness.
Yeah.
Totally. Because she's next to the 4. So it's like she's feeling it, you know.
I was just about to say, how tragic.
The 4 is the tragic romantic, everyone.
I feel it. I felt that deep, you know, I did.
All right, Kristen, move us along. What were you going to say?
Just to say, in this chicken shit moment, I also kind of really appreciated Karen after the high point of the crying. Giselle, Mia, and Robin leave, and it's Nneka, Ashley, Candace, and Wendy left. And I was a little like, I was just grateful for Karen's like maintaining her disposition of like, this is stupid. I don't fuck with these chickens. No, because I feel like it gave Candace a safe place to kind of transition out of her feelings without having to jump back into what Wendy was doing, which was just like, this is a good time. Here's the chickens. Let's like Candace took the shot and you could tell she was not emotionally or energetically ready to just be like, okay, fun times with the group again. And I felt like Karen was a little ballast over there for her to like be able to linger with. And I appreciated seeing that.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's nice. And speaking of, okay, it's like Wendy's a 3. She's not gonna be anybody's like emotional, stabilizing force. But I do also appreciate that she was trying at that table. And of course, Nneka's like hater ass interpretation is she's trying to manipulate. It's like, as somebody on the internet said, it's like, who's gonna manipulate Candace? like
it ain't gonna be also anybody.
Right. The bossy pants herself, when she's done, when she comes back and she says, Wendy, I need a tissue. I need a tissue, Wendy. Wendy's like, okay, let me just talk to the chicken for a moment and then I can do a tissue.
And I resent production for when Nneka is saying this, flashing back to the previous day at the pool, like, Wendy's saying, stop talking about me to my enemy is an example of manipulation. Ew.
I wonder if Wendy notices the way they keep shadily trying to like it's like, hey, production, you're not good at what you do. You don't give us rich, good episodes and fucking storylines. The reason this episode was flat mostly because you have in the past like 6 episodes cut richer moments where they're all together, gathered, strategically cut the scene so we don't actually hear. You could linger with those, and then you would need to give us less of this garbage, like less of the nothing to say in the car ride, less of the nothing to see at the fucking kayaking. Like, please, we're not amused by chicken shit bingo. Like, we want to hear about what's happening at chicken shit bingo. Okay, we don't care about the fucking chickens. Like,
yes, no, they showed a lot of the chickens. Like, turns out chicken shit. LOL.
Which is giving the energy that motivated Ashley to schedule this trip in the first place. I believe production is all very much like Ashley.
Oh, 1000%. I bet they like party together like on the off season.
Well, and let's not forget, Ashley said, I just was thinking about getting a chicken coop for my little kids. It's just like every opportunity to go be a little fake wannabe pretend white woman, Ashley's gonna take it up with vigor. Like, come on.
She's such a loser. Like, this is a must-do activity. Like, even Nneka, who is very invested in ass kissing, was in the car like, we're going in that building right now.
Ashley, please wash your hands before you come over. Did you wash them, please?
And it's not about like, she's like, hole in the wall, that's the best spot. This ain't it. Okay. It's for me, it's literally not like, oh, is it giving like the aesthetics of elitism and wealth? Like, this is boring and stupid. You're an idiot. Okay. Nobody is amused by this. You think if you drag them down to like white folk country hell that then you're proving your whiteness. Like, I don't like, I'm just over her. I don't even want to make sense out of Ashley's tragedy. It's too much. Get her out of here, please.
All right,
we'll
next,
get out of there.
next, we going on to Karen and Giselle. Next, they are okay. So I said this previously. Giselle's strategy, to get all of the women on her side come out maybe on top in these various situations, is to take people aside one-on-one and have a conversation. And just the act of getting people one-on-one makes it seem like Giselle is being vulnerable. Like, hey, I want to talk to you about something. It's really, and she tells Karen, like, you asked me yesterday. Okay, mind you, if you didn't watch the episode, it's cut so crazily. We all thought, yeah, mind you. We all thought that yesterday was 4 days ago. That's how wild production's being.
Yeah, okay, but no, let's just highlight that point for a moment. Everybody check the receipts. Production is fucking with us. It's not, the things may not be unfolding in this order as they claim.
Yes. Yeah, that was actually, it was a shocking moment when suddenly yesterday, huh? And how many episodes have we been in Austin? But regardless.
They're confusing us.
So she was like, oh, you asked if Candace and I could ever be friends. I have to close that door because, I've been getting death threats because of, the allegations against me. The allegations about, are we talking about colorism here? Okay. The allegations that, meanwhile, I have, my brown-skinned daughters, and then Karen's like, yes, I had no idea this was happening. I didn't know it got this far.
She didn't invoke her daughter's complexion. She just invoked her daughters. Karen is the one who was like, and we both have beautiful brown daughters. Just because Giselle's like a bunch of idiots on the internet. Yeah, I said it. Specifically this one white woman who was jumping into the business on Twitter. Like, stay the fuck out of it, please. Like,
many white women are jumping into the business on Twitter. Many.
Absolutely. And the thing is, like, I mean, it is their business insofar as they hold the cards of anti-blackness, and that's what we're talking about here. But Giselle's key strategy, quite like white women, is to do this color blindness thing, right? Like, she won't invoke her daughter's complexion because color, that doesn't make a difference. Really, Giselle, why is it that we got no less than 3 taglines across 3 different seasons that invoke your complexion and how you work to preserve it?
Yeah.
I stay out of the shade, blah, blah, blah. I don't remember it.
That's why I'm so pretty. I stay out of the shade.
Go back and check. Exactly.
Or I stay in the shade.
Stays out of the oh, that's right. Stays in the shade. That's what she said. Like, and I think, so we're talking about colorism. And I think the thing about a lot of the folks on the internet, it's actually not a lot. Let's be clear. Most people know this is bullshit. Giselle is the poster child for colorism. Okay. Whether she is enjoying the privilege of being light-skinned and reveling in it, and I want to talk about privilege because I don't really fuck with that conceptually, and I can say why, but reveling in it, or whether she is deploying the strategies of a colorist herself, most people know what's up, but a few people are like, sorry, I just thought of one very particular self-hater on Twitter. But she's like, oh, what is she saying? I don't, she wants to deny the accusation entirely because she doesn't invoke complexion ever. Dang, you see, now I done lost it. What was it, y'all?
That's that COVID, man.
Yes, it is. Yes, that is the COVID. Dang.
Are you saying what the person on Twitter was saying or what Giselle was saying?
Oh, okay. Because the people on Twitter, it's like, I don't think she's colorist. Now, what would constitute sufficient proof? Where do we find the evidence of colorism? Are we waiting for someone to say, I prefer light skins only?
No,
And
no,
doesn't
no, because
Giselle-
then these same people would say that's a preference. That is not that I
Yeah,
swear the
touche.
same people would say.
So in other words, there is no proof that can legitimately have us accusing someone of colorism, right? Like there will never be sufficient grounds for proof for us to say that about anyone to the people who are generally just colorist deniers. And those
Right.
are the same people who are fucking racism deniers and none other than whites, okay? Like
Well,
Black
yeah.
people are not that crazy, okay, that they would dare fix their lips to say racism's not real. So who has the battery in the back of the colorist deniers? I'm gonna just chalk it up to the white people jumping in the converse. Okay, but there is one particular woman, like I said, and my eye twitches. Jennifer Grady on Twitter. She's a
Ooh,
troll.
say the
I call her
name. Say the name.
Jennifer Grady troll. Okay. She's a troll. Her main point is Candace Candace is bigoted against light-skinned people.
Not bigoted.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. The criteria for these people to be a colorist is to be dark skinned. Like if you're saying if you dark and you saying anything about somebody's complexion, oh, there, spotted it, got it. You know.
It's literally just a recycling of the racist strategies of white people, right? Like white people are like, you brought up race, reverse racism.
Yeah,
like you're using the same logic, you fucking idiot.
Yes. And they're so lit. They're like,
it's the quintessential gesture of a liberal to be like, it's both sides. No, if you think you're going to get the privilege of being the one to suffer the righteous position of the Black person who's dark skinned, no. Light skinned people suffer too. Because look, Candace said it. Oh wait. So if I name an operation of power, now I'm the one deploying it for pointing it out. Oh, okay.
yes.
Not a good one.
That's quite, that actually leads me to my point about why I don't fuck with the privilege discourse, because the problem with privilege discourse is that it assumes somebody is enjoying something we should all be able to enjoy, something that we should all want and be able to count on. Now, what is Giselle enjoying through her intense investment in her light skin, her sense that that is a sign of status? She is nothing but miserable, okay? It robs her of vitality and richness. That's what it does. Giselle actually thinks that's really all I have for myself in the world. That's why I work really hard to stay out of the sun, okay? If that's all you think you have, imagine the kind of life you're just tenuously, anxiously
living life
to not
less.
lose that status. Exactly. It's an impoverished life. It's no benefit we should. Okay, if the benefit is that people who are light skinned are assumed competent, are assumed attractive, are assumed more capable, 100%, that's legitimate. Everybody deserves that, I guess. Everybody, no, I really do mean that. If these are things that we should want, then everybody should deserve that. Everybody should be able to count on that. But it's not like the language of privilege mystifies the way Giselle actually suffers the internalization of those ideas. And colorism is none other than a species of anti-Blackness. Giselle is not served by internalizing anti-Blackness.
And the language of privilege makes it like doubles down on like, oh, everyone would want to be more white.
I mean, the language of privilege makes it so that somehow Mama Sue is the tragic figure and Giselle is the one who's doing fine. And it's like, no, they're cut from the same cloth. They're
someone tried to say on Twitter, what do these two things have to do with each other? Mama Sue's skin bleaching. Yes. Like these are not the same.
What?
Okay,
and
they
this
are
is why
inextricable.
I had an issue when you said there was one person, Jennifer Grady. No, it's all these people. All of these,
but don't overstate it. It's really not. It's no. I swear to you, like most people have sense. It is a few tragic idiots, but it's not the majority. At least it's not the majority of Black people. Like if there's a corner where like white people are coming to bear more strongly on the conversation, then it might seem like the numbers skew crazy in one direction. But Black people are not sitting up here generally denying the fact of colorism in the world, even the ones that might cape for Giselle.
Okay, but I also want to talk about, okay, we've talked about the people, but I want you to talk about the bots.
Okay, let's get to the lit review, the review of the literature, which is none other than Twitter discourse. Martinez with Eddie, a Twitter user, tweeted, colorism has been a big topic on RHOP, and Giselle has been always said to be part of the problem, even before Candace joined the show. What are your thoughts on this conversation between Karen and Giselle? Okay, we have activity under this post. Martinez is prompting us. We get one Twitter user, Kate Ara, saying, Candace at the reunion went to hell. But Giselle took away a lot of Chris's credibility, source of income with those accusations, and she wasn't keeping the same story. It changed a couple of times, so I'm confused why she is playing victim. But great moment with Karen. Now, the way I read that, I actually infused a little bit of sense and cohesion into it, but we're going to put it up here. That's a bot, everybody. That's a goddamn bot stringing together words that are wildly inconsistent. What's terrifying is, though, this tweet gets a lot of activity. It has 700 likes and 20 retweets. Okay. Here are the points made by this bot. Candace at the reunion went to hell. Giselle took away a lot of Chris's credibility, so confused why she playing victim. But great moment with Karen. Now, what is great about the moment? Because what actually is happening in that scene? Karen ends it apologizing to Giselle. Now, why the fuck is she apologizing to Giselle?
Mm-hmm.
I actually, that's an earnest question because the way they've cut that, it doesn't make sense to me. And this could be like, this is Karen's fence straddling, rearing its head. But I just don't understand what there is to be sorry that you're getting death threats. Okay. If that's it, that's fine. But if you say them the way you said them, it authorizes Giselle's claim that Candace caused, she used the word caused those death threats.
Yeah. And I think that is what Karen is apologizing for. Okay. Also, horrible to get death threats, but everybody on this show is getting death threats. Wendy is getting the most vile death threats.
Right. Yep. And somebody should literally do a statistical analysis, and the distribution is going to show the darker you are, the more the fucking death threats you're getting. I bet my life on it.
Yes.
My life. Okay.
Somebody probably just told Giselle go to hell, and she said it was a death threat.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And the ones issuing death threats to Giselle are bots, which doesn't mean that's like, the threat of death for any perceived infraction is not at the heart of what Americans are capable of. Like, for sure, right? Because somebody sends the bots out. Like, somebody produces a bot that goes, I want this algorithm to read drama on reality TV and then issue death threats to any of the like that. Somebody makes a bot. All the bots are doing is distilling what people actually believe and like, expressing them with poor grammatical structure. But those are sentiments that are real and expressive of things people believe. So, okay, I don't mean to undermine it, but it's like these are bots threatening you, as opposed to Wendy, where I bet you real motherfuckers are actually being very specific.
Absolutely.
Bringing up her address, naming where her kids go to school.
Oh, Lord.
Yes. I actually saw that on Twitter. That's how I know that's true.
Is that real? Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Yeah, Giselle, I mean, we could even say that, like, Giselle is lying. She's lying about like what the real cause of her not wanting to move forward with Candace is.
Yes.
And it feels like it's precisely the expression of her colorism that she won't encounter herself in order to like actually be accountable to the true nature of the conflict. It's like, no, she's just shutting down the possibility for anything real. And this is why Candace is such a redeeming figure consistently, because what does she say? Like at the end of the conflict with Robin, or not end, but like at the end of the crying session, she's like, you know what? I'm happy that she's crying because I want to see her feeling. I just want to see her feeling something.
Yeah.
And let's flag that moment. When Robin was crying, she said, I'm hurt. That
Mhm.
is the first time this season we have seen Robin admit that she does care about something.
Mm.
I was
Well,
happy to say, like, for her to say she was hurt was a major step.
but maybe we can also ask this question about like why Karen was so quick to just accept Giselle's account and move on, because Karen was going hard just the day before or the episode before, because we obviously don't know when the days really happened. But in the
Mhm.
suite, when she confronts Robin and it's like, you've got to be accountable, Robin. It's like Karen can go hard for what's right and sensible
Yeah.
in some contexts. So why would you just let Giselle get off with that one piss poor effort to tell you I'm not moving forward with Candace?
I think it's because she brought her candy. Like literally, like it's like Karen reads it as like ingratiation. She's like, oh, okay, you're like honoring my power. You're sitting here,
Yeah.
trying to make gestures. So let me give you something in return. And it's like, not on this, Karen. Like this is too fucking important for this to be the thing you equivocate on. Like, really, girl? Because at the reunion, Karen was like, okay, everyone, I see you're upset, especially dumbass forehead Ashley over there about the fact of colorism being raised. But are you people trying to sit here and act like colorism cannot but permeate our everyday existence? Like y'all
Mhm.
think it's irrelevant when the cast was mostly light-skinned women up until Wendy and Candace came on? Like you really that was Karen, the voice of reason, right? The
Right.
like light-skinned one taking accountability instead of the one refusing it. Okay, while Giselle and Ashley are huffing and puffing left and right, but now Karen has gone and betrayed that very idea.
I think Karen sees Giselle as some sort of peer.
Yeah.
And like they're the two anchors of the show, if we want to say, and that she came, she came to her like, okay, real talk, I felt some type of way because of X. And she was like, oh, I'm sorry that I went so hard against you. I didn't know you had a real issue with this.
And I would say, like, Karen, you shouldn't even apologize for trying to press the fact of them needing to talk, because the show will literally not work if Giselle stands on that, unless you send her out. Like,
Mm-hmm.
let's send her out in that case.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Is it
Okay,
like,
can I?
will she only stand on an agreement directed at her? Like, will it have had to be Giselle going at her for her to turn up? Like,
I'm gonna just say yes.
Me too. That's Karen's kind of moral compass. Yeah. Okay, here's the I know it's like we
I know, quite a
But
demerit for my favorite this season.
I told you can't, because Karen has shown her ass in the past. So I know
Yeah,
to be like,
yeah.
okay, I'm gonna eat it up when you're making me laugh, but I do not trust Karen.
Mm.
The second comment that is getting roughly the same activity, it does not seem to me written by a bot, so that's good. But it's the position is by Tina Bina XO. I don't think Giselle is a colorist. Parentheses. She was jealous of Monique's money, 3 Ys, from day one! Exclamation point.
Money. That's
Money.
outside.
I think Candace was trying to explain that Giselle's allegations would go further because of the way she looks. Dot dot dot. And sadly, that is true. What I appreciate about Tina Dabina's comment is that she's not disavowing colorism, right? Like, in an attempt to protect their faves, people will be like, colorism, what's that? And that's when you can say, oh, it's actually colorism that motivates your very investment in that person. That's why now, because to protect Giselle, to protect Robin, you have to pretend like the world is not governed by anti-Blackness, and like we should not expect to see colorism as an expression of anti-Blackness among those who are not white, right? Okay, weirdo. But Tina Dabina is not doing that. She's acknowledging that it exists, and I think she's right that Candace's point is that Giselle's allegations carry more weight because she's reproducing the tropes of white womanhood, right? Like, I mean, first of all, someone said this, like, definition of white woman to start a conflict and start crying about it, like you did not produce this already.
Like, you suffered the thing that you opened the can of worms about now. I'm sorry.
And now someone else is the offender. But I do think that was Candace's point, to try to explain that Giselle's allegations would go further because of the way she looks.
Mhm.
But I would say I'm not ready to exculpate Giselle from she said I stay in the shade.
Right.
Many times
And that's
she
why
said
I'm
stuff like
pretty.
this.
Yeah, that's exactly,
Literally.
that's the important part. I'm pretty because I stay in the shade.
Literally. And then I think Tina's point is like, she's not colorist because she was jealous of Monique's money from day one. Let's just go ahead and make sure we understand the relation between Giselle's jealousy and colorism. Now, why would Giselle be jealous of Monique's money from day one? First of all, she met her, she didn't know she had money. What happens? They're having tea, right, at high noon in, what is it, the Biltmore? I forget where they're at. And this is her first encounter with Monique. And then Monique is like, so we're moving. Giselle says, first thing out of her mouth to address Monique, oh, so you don't have a home? Monique said,
Yes.
I have 5 homes, actually. Right? Like, she wasn't jealous of her money before she refused to grant her any kind of credibility, before she sat on this stage and called her homeless, like they were going to put a homeless woman on Real Housewives of Potomac. Why do you think she was so motivated to undermine her? Because yes, Giselle has learned, on the basis of what I look like, my complexion and my green eyes, those are the assets I have to offer the world, and I better protect them with a ferocity that suggests as much, that they are the basis of my existence and my value to the world. So when she meets a woman who is gorgeous and brown, she said, oh, that SpongeBob mean. Okay.
Mr. Krabs.
Mr. Krabs mean the basis of my understanding for value is threatened by the presence of this gorgeous woman who is brown skinned and has money. And at that point, it seemed a successful marriage, unlike me, Giselle.
Yeah.
Right? Like, Giselle was at rock bottom and thought, okay, if I have anything in this world, it better be my complexion, because I don't got no man. I don't have my reputation. He humiliated me. Okay, this is colorism infecting Giselle. Yeah, she suffers from it. She suffers from it because her sense of her worth is all bound up in that. And it makes her miserable and hostile to other women who she might otherwise enjoy and become friends with.
And at the time,
Giselle, that was similar.
At the time she said that. Oh,
we could also say that, like, the fact that Giselle is aging over the course of this show is also evidence of what you're saying, because it's like, shit, now I'm losing youth. Like, it's really just light skin and green eyes, and it's not even coming in as sexy a package as it did when I was a hot young thing. Now I got to get nasty, because I have my whole life on these 2 assets in my mind. So now I have to just start abusing people and creating discord on the show. Like,
and if you track Giselle's, the way she shows up across the seasons, first season, was she creating drama? Yeah, of course, whatever. That's the imperative of the show. But she was also generally just trying to have fun. And she was funnier. She was funnier because she was motivated. She wanted to be the life of the party, right? Like, and now where do we find Giselle? She can't have a good time if there's not divisiveness. Okay. If she's not
nasty,
clear where the lines are drawn. I need Robin's fealty and I need the rest of you, bitch. Like,
yes,
that's the only way she can carry on.
And not fun.
Very much not at all. Fun. So
when was the last time Giselle made you laugh? Like, you know, I haven't laughed out loud at Giselle. I can't.
Literally, unless I'm laughing at her. Absolutely not.
Yeah, no, that's so true.
It's like the jealousy and the colorism, these matters are inextricable. Okay, that's the point here. Giselle could not grant Monique credibility because she was too threatened by a woman who could be both beautiful and brown. She regarded it as a direct assault on her that someone is beautiful and brown at the same time.
And the homeless accusation was coming right off. It wasn't that much earlier that Robin had literally lost her home. So
no kind of sensitivity to her friend.
I know. The 2 of them just go around putting their foot in their mouths. It's just too much. It's too much.
Of
You're
course
gonna
not.
say
And by the way, people might regard the way Giselle hazed Ashley at in her early presence, and they'll say, "Well, Giselle was not nice to Ashley either." If you think colorism does not partially also account for what was going on there, here I am to correct the record. Giselle's sense of, I'm going to underscore, sense of her worth in the world is premised on her being light-skinned and having green eyes. Here comes
Yes.
Ashley, young, spry, and light-skinned, and breaking another rule. She has natural hair.
Mhm.
She has
Yeah, and that's
natural
what
hair.
Giselle says. Giselle says when they first meet, because I just saw the first episode, all I see is just hair everywhere.
Bush.
Oh,
She called it
is
a
that a
bush.
problem? Is
She
that
called
a
it a
problem?
bush. She has a very rigid sense of value given the intense colorism that she has internalized. A very rigid sense of what's valuable. It must be, there's a hierarchy. If your eyes are light and you're light skin and your hair is straight and blonde, boom, you're at the top.
Right.
That's why Robin's her closest friend, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, you know who else will disavow a bush of a head of hair? It's NECA.
Oh my
It's
God.
like
Oh my
waiting
God.
on.
Oh my God. Please. Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Okay,
Who?
but you know what else about that scene with NECA on the phone with Lebe? She's consulting Lebe about how to dress for the excursion, y'all.
Yes.
Lebe is on the phone saying, wear the white shoes. It's giving, I'm coaching your rise to stardom on the show. And it's
Yes.
giving, corroborate everything Wendy is also saying on Twitter about this whole scenario.
That
Mm.
is an extremely important point because it's like why is she on with her cousin-in-law or what is the
Yes.
relationship?
Her
Cousin-in-law.
cousin-in-law, who is the bridge between NECA and the show, because Lebe knew Wendy first, and
Right.
Wendy has been sharing old text messages on Twitter. That's how NECA got on in the first place.
Yep. Absolutely. Because in that scene, Lebe says, and you're wearing the white shoes, right? Which tells us,
Yep.
oh, so y'all been in conversation about this very outfit since before the camera descended on you right
You
here.
do not FaceTime while you are getting ready with someone unless they are either like you're in full cahoots with the person.
It's giving coach. Lebe
Yes.
is the coach. Yeah, because like, why? First of all, why don't you plan the outfits in advance with Lebe? Like, it's giving coach. Like, when I'm in a moment of uncertainty, I call coach and I go, Coach, am I gonna serve or what in this outfit?
Yeah. Well, not only that, but I'm sure it's like, okay, this is what Wendy's been saying. And so it's like, okay, this is what we're gonna say, blah, 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 blah.
And
Wow.
Lebe, by the way, the text that Wendy showed us are Lebe being like, "Who's your surgeon? Because I'm getting a BBL for my, as my thing approaches my ex birthday or something like that." So it's also seeming like Lebe's greatest investment here too is like, the appearance of things, right? Like, it's like, how about you give NECA some interest and some charisma? Can you coach her on that? Because so far,
lacking sorely.
nothing. She has nothing to offer in confessionals, literally. Like, even when she's trying to drag Wendy, it's just like, boring, flat.
Didn't work, girl.
True miss. A true miss.
Yes. Yes.
Because because what we were invoking is NECA straightening her hair and going, it's giving silky straight or something, and then
Bone
right
straight.
after,
Bone
it's
straight.
giving bone straight. It's giving afro. It's
Because Lebe said, no, it's not, girl.
literally. So what are you seeing? Okay, that's the truth. Whatever you're like, and yes, your wig is bad. Like, change it out or get some dry shampoo. But like, at this point, Lebe can't help you with that. Can I just raise one other hair issue?
Please. Oh, I know this one.
Ashley's atrocious clip-ins.
No, I can't stand that girl.
What is going on? Once again, she be dancing when she should be getting dressed. She clips those mugs in, boom, 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 boom. First of all, she doesn't try to separate the curls so it blends a little better. So there's some chunks right here, right here, right here. And then if you look at the back, it's just like stagger, stagger, stagger.
Stark difference, texture. Girl, you don't care. Stop. Please, please get off this show. Please, I beg of you. You know, I'm asking Santa for Ashley to get the fuck off this show, please.
Oh,
Please.
please, Santa. Please, Sam, it's been
Please.
totally yours.
We don't ask for much.
Please. I swear, I promise. That's all I want for Christmas.
When she had the profile at the chicken chip bingo, that's when I was like, whoa.
Yes, and you can see it's like she doesn't even bother to try to look in the mirror to see what's going on back there. That's what I'm saying, dude. She's
Mhm.
dancing. There's only one dimension when you do TikTok videos.
I just had a thought too. Wait, this whole time I thought she was practicing the TikTok videos during those times, but is she actually posting them?
Might be.
She don't practice. I mean, maybe she does practice, in which case that's literally worse. That's a literal. Well, she's choreographed. I think that's planned choreography. No,
Yeah,
actually,
she learns the dances. Okay. Who cares?
wait.
She's
I lied. One more hair thing.
all right.
Back to Karen and Jizzy in the hotel room.
This is what I
Karma
thought
is
you-
actually handling the matter for us. Giselle's edges are missing.
Mhm.
It's bad.
Her
It's
edges are
bad.
missing.
I'm stressed. I'm closing this section out by saying I am just stressed because I do see she's becoming increasingly nasty. And it's just hard to relate to her on any level. I am worried for the daughters in the long term.
Especially with Grace gone as their kind of like buffer, mediator, protector. Yeah, because the twins have never rocked with the bullshit.
Yeah. So just note that. Then girls go off to kayak. This is a bad trip. They get back from kayaking, and Robin has to report to
Wandering Dickson. Dickson. That's how you spell the
Mhm.
last name.
Mhm.
And
Someone on
she is,
Twitter
you
called
know
him
what?
Wandering Dickson.
She's shaking in her boots because she knows she's been avoiding that conversation. She might have called him the day before. When is the day? I don't know. Still production.
Yeah, what day is it?
What day is it? But we might have expected this call to have come sooner if we take their timeline to be true. I think she's avoiding it, putting it off. She knows.
But if we take their relationship as any indication, then we know that the call happened is a miracle in itself. Because she already
Yes.
told us he doesn't even know about all the media stuff. So you mean when Candace is on, people's blogs saying Robin is a fraud, you didn't have that convo with him?
Well,
Like,
the
y'all don't even
reason
talk about work coworkers?
the reason that she called him, being the coworker, is because she knew that he was going to see it on the show, and she was going to be
Yeah.
in more trouble if she didn't call him now.
Right. As opposed to blog stuff, which she can leave that out because he won't catch that necessarily. Although the show will play the clip.
And the thing is, though, it's like if they were not coworkers, but real married people or in a romantic relationship, she would have called when she left Chicken Chip Bingo. She would have
She would
called
have been on the curb on the phone,
Yes.
looking for
Yes.
comfort, but she can't turn to her life partner for comfort.
Right. She'd have been like, I need to talk to Juan, but she's like, I need to be alone. And that is sad. That is so sad.
I know someone who once told me, it's like, I don't trust a man with my feelings, a man that I'm in a relationship with my feelings. And my thing is like, you're only hurting yourself. You're only hurting yourself. Like that breeds resentment. If you can't turn to the person you spend every day with to support, it's not that that's the only person you turn to support your feelings. But what the fudge is the point of the relationship?
Literally.
He literally cannot sympathize with her. What, you're crying right now?
Stop being so emotional.
Yes, he said, stop crying. Oh my God.
He said, she's like, I'm not. You're crying right now. I need to go. My skin is crawling. Oh my God. Yo, that is just.
You hear that your spouse is allegedly getting, as Karen would put it, gangbangs. Okay,
every episode.
Totally bullied and attacked by all these women, and that your actions are part of what is her downfall, and you pile on. That's crazy.
And do you know she knew he was gonna do that? And that's why the way the call begins is with her saying, Juan, I did something for you.
Yeah.
Juan, I called to figure out the insurance thing for you. We'll just pay for your drugs out of pocket with cash. Juan, I did. He gets mad at her in the course of that. She's arranging your affairs, nigga. And you are like, what? No, Robin, I don't think it's going to be as easy as you making it. Do it yourself.
Yeah, she did
That
it.
is so sad.
You know that man does not lift a fucking finger in that household.
He didn't
doesn't
take the
lift a
kids to
finger.
school, y'all. He didn't take the kids
That's
to school.
he said you're out of the country, they stay home.
They stay home.
Like, she tries to make an offering in the hopes that this man would respond graciously when she brings up her sadness, when she brings
Yes.
up her hurt feelings. And first thing he does is get pissed at her. She knew that was coming, and that's why she cried. And then on the phone, I'm not crying. No, I'm not getting emotional. She's not even allowed to have fucking feelings, man.
It is not funny at all. It's not. But the
No,
way that your face is right now. But it's literally, I
Yes.
am scared for her. It's handmade situation.
She's
Karen
not
was
allowed
right.
to have feelings, but Juan also punishes her for her disposition being guardedness. Because you remember when
Exactly.
She
Bill
can't
Mike,
win.
she can't win. Like he's like, I just want somebody to share my life with, somebody to show up. Like she weaponized, or not weaponized. She uses not caring as her primary defense, but when it can't sustain, he won't even let her have emotions either. It's like, which one is it, Juan?
And he's even though we be sometimes joking like, ah, dang, we feel bad for Juan because Robin is so guarded. It's like a chicken or egg question. What happened first? Okay. Frankly,
Yeah.
Robin didn't learn how to be guarded from Juan. I am sure he gives her ample reason every day to leave those guards up. But she entered the
Yes.
relationship that way. But he entered the relationship just like unhinged. Okay. He entered the relationship emotionally immature, and he never acquired the maturity.
Yes.
He literally treats Robin like, how like boys especially learn to resent their mother for providing care for her. Like, we could go the deep psychoanalytic route. It's about jealousy, it's about resentment at feeling less powerful than mom, but always wants to punish the parent. This is how Juan treats Robin, like a little boy who is very entitled to mother's love,
Yes.
but returns everything she does for him with anger, hostility, and hatred. And he suffers it. He suffers it. It's like, you fool. You don't even try to encourage her to be the person who you could feel like you have a legitimate partnership with.
It's not looking good for the rest of the season. Robin has not looked good one time. I mean, and I don't mean that just to say like let's orient to appearances, but it's like it's not showing a lot of promise. I think at the start, the first episode, I was like, maybe she'll have a breakdown, and that will be the best thing that happened to her.
You did say
I
that.
hope. I hope.
She's
I
having
hope.
it right now.
Yeah.
Because you were saying that in the face of her like stoic performance, but now we see her having the breakdown, and
We'll see what it yields.
Yeah.
the
Nothing.
walls are up. Okay, more to come, apparently.
Tell us what y'all think,
Especially the colorism.
Oh,
just
yeah.
want to close on this question. What do y'all watching regard as sufficient proof to accuse someone of colorism? What do y'all think of as colorism? What is its relationship to anti-Blackness? How does it work? How does anyone prove colorism is afoot?
Yeah. All right.
Comment, let us know.
Like, subscribe.
Next time.
Bye.